Coach, you pretty much answered the question, but were you amazed how you guys made a 25-point turnaround after being down 7 at halftime? And you used that strategy that actually worked, but you still had to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, our guys were obviously great in the second half, and I have so much respect for Purdue. I wouldn't have said we're going to come out and beat them by 22 in the second half. The message to the guys from me was like, stay steady. Let's work ourselves back in the game. We've been great at the start of the second half, and then we'll go from there. Kind of go, and our guys did a good job. They came out and we tied the game pretty quick. And then it's a 0-0 game, and can we win it down the stretch? And then somehow, some way, we were able to sustain that run. But you're right. I thought, when you're down 7 at half, you think this thing's going to come down to the last 4 minutes. You're going to have to find a way, and that was what I told the guy. Let's find a way to be in the game at the last 4 minutes, and we've been great closing games this year.
Yeah, Jerry Brewer with The Athletic. Tommy, how often do you like to step back and let the team communicate? And what made you think in this moment that it was time for you to kind of shut up?
We're together every day, and so they hear me a lot. And I feel like, one of the things I'm so proud of when I listen to these guys at the press conference, when they're, with no prompting, relaying the messaging that our coaching staff's trying to get them to understand, it tells me that our guys are paying attention. So the most powerful thing in a team sport is a player-led program. The coach kind of you have to help them navigate it, but when you can get the players to kind of own these moments, you're just so much better. You're so much better. And for me, and I've done it, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times this year, and every time it's worked. So you probably can't do it too often, but I've done it at a few timeouts. I've done it at a couple half times, and these guys have a way about them. There's a seriousness about them, and they know how to kind of ratchet things down and tighten it up and get after people. So I was really proud of them and how they responded in that second half.
Jason Chair, Wildcat Authority. The first thing you did when you got on the mic after the game was mention Llyod. Just his meaning to this program and why you felt that should be the first thing you said.
Well, listen, Lyod's given me a great life. He and I shook hands only a few times, kind of in a handshake line or something at a game. And I think I was at a cancer event for him one time. And his legacy in Tucson is so powerful. That he's the guy, there's others before him, but he's the main catalyst to make our program the center of the community. And so when I got the job, I was like, wow. People in Tucson really want to like their basketball coach, and it wasn't a contentious relationship at all. They want to love you, and the reason they want to love you is because they love Llyod so much, and he meant so much to the community. But without Llyod, without Sean doing what he did for those 12 years he was here, I wouldn't be able to do what we did today. And I fully understand that, and those guys. This is for them too. And I have no problem, sharing the success of this team with the coaches that came before me.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. Tommy, so much has been made about Arizona, not going to the Final Four for 25 years. Does it feel fitting to you that you're going, at least in part, because of an Arizona-born kid in Koa? He grew up in this state understanding what this program means. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they call him Mr. Arizona for something. I mean, guys, Koa, it's special. And I know you guys hear it, but you got to hear it again. 4 state championships at the same high school. Didn't go to a prep school. 4 gold medals with USA basketball. No one in FIBA history has ever done that, and helped lead Arizona to a Final Four, and that was my recruiting pitch: 4, 4, and 4. Let's do it. And the dude's, he's amazing. His ability to perform the way he did in these moments, he's been in a lot of them. And I told our guys, don't make too much out of this. This guys, it's like a state championship game. You guys have all played in them, or a gold medal game or whatever. Let's just find a way to win the game. Don't make it more than it is. And our guys did a great job just coming out and being able to perform in that second half.
Nathan Canales, San Jose Mercury News. Tommy, Braden Burry struggled a little bit in that first half shooting the ball, but felt like in the second half he was impacting the game in the other ways. How would you just assess the second half performance from?
Yeah,
from
I mean,
freshman?
the first half he didn't look great, and he kind of looked tentative like he looked at the start of the year. He shot a couple questionable shots, and then in the second half he was on the left wing, and I think he had an open three, but he kind of like hesitated, and then ended up shooting it and missed it. And I think a couple of guys in the staff got after him a little bit, and I knew he was going to make his next one. And he's really been able to respond from those moments this year, and I think that just shows the overall growth of him as a player.
Tommy, sort of following up on the earlier question, how significant is as much success as Arizona's had over the years to get to the Final Four? How significant is that? And sort of related question, how much do you stay connected to central figures of the past, whether it's Steve Kerr or players from the championship team or that kind of stuff?
A ton. I love those guys, and they've given me a better life because they helped build this program to what it is now, and the legacy is so strong. And those guys have been so cool and so welcoming to me. The sun may be shining on this team and me coaching it right now, but when it's shining on you, you got to fight like hell to protect it and build it. And so that's what I feel like my number one responsibility is to fight to protect the program and fight to build it for those who came before me and for those that are going to follow after me. Because you know what? Arizona's going to have another good coach after me. I promise you. I mean, the place is special.
Ramsey Barker, Sacktown Sports. You just used the number 4 about a minute ago. My question to you is, when you sit down and scout and strategize against a team like Purdue, how does that counteract or play into your scout when you have a team of a multitude of players that have played 4 years and the experience, the depth, the camaraderie that they have?
Massive challenges, and they have a great coach, and they have a great system, and they have so much experience that, I mean, their recall of probably being able to make adjustments and run sets they haven't run, in months is probably really, really impressive. And we knew it was going to be hard. But when you look at it, obviously Braden's so good, and we knew he was going to have the ball a lot in his hands. And, we tried to figure out, a couple different plans. And but we also knew we had to do a great job on Fletcher Lawyer. He's made 4 threes in each of the last 2 games, and we've been pretty good at when we're locked in at chasing guys through screens. We were physical enough to kind of get through it. And then Trey Kaufman-Wren is so interesting. I mean, he's got that 15-foot push floater. He's great getting down to his right hand, and they do such a good job putting him in different situations. And then I'm telling you what, Clough is playing his ass off. I mean, that dude, I feel like he had every rebound out there today. And so we knew it was going to be tough, but we knew we had to do a good job on Braden. And then we really wanted to see if we could limit Fletcher as much as we could. And then, if Braden scored 25, maybe it wasn't going to be our day. If Trey scored, 25, maybe it wasn't going to be our day. But we just felt with our physicality and athleticism and size we could put on Trey, we wanted to see if he could consistently score over us. And, I didn't realize he was 5 for 14, and I know he had some foul trouble, but our guys did a great job executing the plan on him. And listen, Coach Murph's killing it. Coach Murph has done the last 3 scouts. And you guys don't know how time intensive that is. Now, our staff's helped him, but he's been kind of the driving force. Obviously he runs things by me with these game plans, but he's crushing it. I mean, he's had 3 great scouts in a row, and our guys are really connected with him on his scouting, and they're doing a great job executing his plans.
Kyle Bonneger with ESPN. When you arrived in Tucson, what were those conversations with people in the community or the program or whoever about the Final Four teams of the past? And what did you kind of gather about the importance of this particular step for the community and, what it will mean for all those people that you guys are backing?
Yeah, no, listen, the people in Tucson are basketball historians. I mean, the number of stories I've heard, consistently about things that happened 10, 20, 30 years ago, it's impressive. I mean, they really hold on to the things this program accomplishes, and they hold on to our struggles as well. I mean, they're great historians. For me, like right now, I'm a little tired. I want to kind of go hang out with my team and my family and just get back to Tucson and those Catalina foothills and take a breath tomorrow. But my main motivating factor has been our community and our fans. I just feel like, I'm probably going to be a little bit oblivious to it because I won't be in the middle of it. But, you take the 15 minutes of collective joy of each individual that loves this program, that's happy right now. How powerful is that? How cool is that? You talk about getting the compound effect. And so I'm really happy for our community now. And I'm sure, I'm tired. I want to relax a little bit, but I'm sure when we get back to Tucson, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some fans there waiting for us, which is going to be it's going to be awesome to share this with them.
David Moradian with Camp Student Radio. Coach Llyod, earlier in the season, I asked you if you had a rubric for evaluating your team's performance, and you told me you did not, and it's not Math 101. Now I'm wondering, we've had so much, or the school's had so much praise from the opposing coaches. John Calipari said on Thursday that you were the one team he didn't want to face. Today, Coach Painter was showering the team with praise. Is that an acceptable rubric or an acceptable way for you to evaluate the team, and what do you take from that?
I'm thankful for that, because I do respect, Coach Cal and Coach Paint. Those guys have been good to me, kind of being a new guy at this level. Listen, I don't sit around and, I don't know, feel good about myself because people are saying good things about us. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. And those guys are great coaches, and they're formidable foes. And we'll take it all in. And but you know what? Not to get off track. You know what I'm really looking forward to? A day off tomorrow, and then practice on Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to practice on Tuesday. That was my, the one little, your mind goes a lot of places, when you're kind of lost in your thoughts. And my one thing was like, man, if we don't pull this out today, we don't get a practice on Tuesday. And I don't know if these guys love practice, but I love practicing with them. So I can't wait to get out there Tuesday and kind of, get back on them and like, no, let's go. We're still fighting, and we're still fighting to get better and see if we can get a little bit better before next Saturday.
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.